Warning: the following podcast may contain adult language and explicit content. Parental discretion is advised. Also, if you get offended easily, do not listen to this episode, because I've been known to offend people. That's kind of what I do. I'm a savage. Also, listening to this can cause you to become addicted to cookies, and it might put you in the mood and get you pregnant. Just letting you know. Anyway, hit the intro.
You will the picture of you and I engaged in a kiss. The sweat of your body covers me. Can you, my darling, can you picture this? Dream if you can, a courtyard, an ocean of violets in bloom. Animals strike curious poses. They feel the heat between me and you. Just leave me standing alone in a world that's so cold. Maybe I'm just too demanding. Maybe I'm just like my father, too bold. Maybe you're just like my mother. She's never satisfied.
I don't really care what you think or what you say. That has got to be one of the greatest songs of all time. I don't care what your age is, what your race is, who you are, where you're from. Everybody should like that song. I love that song personally. That song is a shit to me. Just because the lyrics in that song register with me so much with me personally. And I'll get into that in a minute. But anyway, it is Sunday, April 24th, 2016. And this is Johnny Knows Best. This is my podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for playing it. And this is episode 20, entitled, This is What It Feels Like When Doves Cry. That's what the title of this episode is, and that's because this whole episode is going to be dedicated to Prince, the rock guy, the rock icon, born Prince Rogers Nelson, and this is going to be all about his life, his career, and his sudden passing on April 21st, 2016, last Thursday. Thursday morning, he passed away. And this episode is going to be solely about him. So if you don't like Prince, I would tell you not to listen to this episode, because I'm about to go on a Prince tangent and tell you why Prince is arguably, if not the greatest artist / performer of our time. He's definitely in the top 10. He should be in everybody's top 10. He's going to be in a lot of people's top 5 or top 3. I know he's in my top 3 performers of all time. And it's a huge, huge loss to the world of music, the fact that we lost Prince. But like I said many times, and it may be an ignorant thing to say, but people is dying, they ain't never died before. It seems like a lot of people, a lot of famous people in general, are going away in 2016. Like more than I know every year a lot of people die before anybody tells me that. But I'm telling you, the first part of 2016, for it to only be April, it seems like more people are going now this year than I can ever remember. I've been around, these past few years. I've been around for over 3 decades, and I don't ever remember this many famous people passing away in a short amount of time. This is really crazy. I did my last episode 19, was on China. Joni Laurie, who passed away Wednesday night. And so I recorded a podcast early Thursday morning about China. And you should go back and listen to that, by the way. It came out pretty good. The whole discussion that I had about China and her career and her passing. I thought came out very well. And then I posted that Thursday morning, and not even an hour, I would say, after I posted that, I was on Facebook just scrolling around, trying to promote the podcast, or trying to promote episode 19. And what do I come across? But I saw that Prince had tragically passed away. And I didn't just, you see that stuff on your Facebook timeline, and you don't automatically, especially when it's a famous person, I talked about this in episode 19, you don't automatically believe it at first, because they're always putting up that certain people died, like Bill Cosby, John Cena, he gets it a lot, Will Smith, Jackie Chan, and you don't always, now none of these people that I just mentioned are dead, but they always get those fake death posts all the time. And so seeing one with Prince, now when I first saw it, I really did tend to believe it, because I had read like a week before how he had been sick with the flu and he was in the hospital not doing so well. That was just like barely a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago. I had read that, so I kind of did believe it when I first saw it, but I didn't just want to just post it or start talking about it without doing the research. So I went to a few other pages, a few other sites, and they were reporting the same thing as TMZ was reporting on Facebook. And so just a few minutes went by, and it started popping up all on my timeline, like everywhere, on every different page. It started popping up, and even on pages that weren't even entertainment pages or music pages, like wrestling, pro wrestling, MMA sites were reporting that he passed away. And I'm like, and sport, ESPN, and lots of places were reporting it. And so I believed it, fairly quickly that it was true that Prince had passed away. And because it was so close to China just died late Wednesday night, and I had just done a podcast about it, it was just very, very shocking that he passed away in the manner that he did. And the first thing I did was text my friend Ann, because Ann is my best friend. I texted her, I was like, Prince died. And Ann's response was, no, he didn't. Like, she didn't really believe it at all. And I said, no, I'm seeing this everywhere. I'm online, and I'm seeing this pop up everywhere, and they're saying this on the news. And I guess she turned the news on, couldn't find it at first. And they were reporting it, I think, on Fox News first. Or that was one of the channels, along with TMZ, that were reporting it first, that he passed away. So eventually, like I said, everybody was posting about it. Nobody was denying it or saying that the reports were false. It was just shockingly, it was just one of those shocking things that no one could believe, I guess, at first. But it's true, he passed away. Apparently they found him dead in the elevator, apparently. The elevator, in his house, Prince had a big-ass house, a big-ass mansion, I guess, or big-ass estate. And so they found him, I guess one of his people found him in the elevator. And like I said, he had been really sick. Like a week prior to this, he came down with the flu. And they rushed him to the hospital. And I think he had been there maybe a few days. And but then I read that he had gotten better and gotten released from the hospital and was doing okay. So it was just one of those things that apparently, I guess, he fell ill again. And now I'm reading that drugs might have played a factor. Wow, surprise, surprise, right? Drugs might have played a factor in his death. There was a pharmacy the night before he died, or night before he passed away, And that just surprised me because when I read about that, I'm like, Prince goes to the pharmacy? Like, Prince goes to the drugstore himself? He doesn't have people that'll go to the drugstore for him? That's crazy. Like, imagine being in Walgreens or Rite Aid just buying some cookies, and all of a sudden Prince comes in behind you, and he's there to get whatever kind of medicine that he needs to get, painkillers or whatever it is that he was on. But I don't even know if that's been released yet. But if it hasn't been released, that'll come out soon. What kind of drugs he was on? Apparently, they're found drugs in his system, and it's just one of those things again where another tragic. Maybe somebody took too much of the wrong thing or whatever. And I don't think he was really depressed or, like Whitney Houston or China, or I don't think he was going through depression. I just think he might have just, I don't even know for a fact that he really had a drug problem. I'm just going by different reports that I've been reading, or they were saying he was taking a lot of stuff prior to his death. So you might find out, it might come out that, he OD'd on one certain particular drug. But I think that'll come out in a few days. They can do the toxicology and what is it, the other thing that they do. That'll come out fairly soon, whatever it is that directly caused his death. But yeah, it's just sad, man. It's very, very tragic. Very, very sudden. Like I said, a lot of famous people had passed. I think last Monday, Doris Roberts of Everybody Loves Raymond fandom, she played Ray Romano's mother on Everybody Loves Raymond. She passed away Monday. Then China passed away Wednesday night. And now Prince died, Thursday morning. And, my grandmama always said that people die in threes. That's how it works. So that's why, I waited a couple days to even do this podcast. I was going to do it, right after Prince. I found out Prince died Thursday morning. I was going to record it then. But I was like, no, I think I'm going to wait a couple days. I'm going to wait till Sunday just in case, just in case somebody else famous or somebody else really, really influential passes away. I wanted to make sure I had all my bases covered. I didn't want to post about Prince and then, post an episode about Prince and then like Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or somebody like that passes away. So I just wanted to wait and see what happens. Now, I fully realized that I could post this Sunday morning and somebody could pass away right after I post this. That's always a possibility. But hopefully we go a while before anybody famous or anybody from my childhood passes away. I hope we go a whole year, but I don't think that's going to happen because, like I said, people is dying. They ain't never died before. So more people are going to go. That's just how it works. That's how this thing called life works. People are born and you're born to die. And one day, as my friend Tony pointed out to me the other day, you're going to die one day too. Like she gave me that vital information. Like I'm not aware that I'm going to pass away. I try not to think about it, so I don't want people, I try not to dwell on dying. Death is like one of those sudden things that you have no control over. Yes, everybody's going to die, but the whole point of the life, I think, is to stay here as long as possible and try to make the best of it. And you certainly, to segue back into Prince, you certainly can't say that Prince didn't make the best out of his life. Prince was he was a rock god, a rock icon. And I know I've read a lot online lately about people saying that Prince was a huge